So hello, this is the third Saturday Partnership podcast. We've talked to Hope and Kindness in Kenya. We've talked to the French Food Bank that we partner with. And here today, we have Mark Greenwood, who is with us because as a church, we partner with Mark and the Reach Department at Elim HQ. But Mark is also the coordinator of Elim Family Festival, which he's roped me and Liz into for the last 5-6 years to be part of that as well. So as a church, we partner with Mark in terms of the Reach Department and Elim Family Festival. So hello, Mark.
Yay! And very happy that I've roped you both in. I am as well.
That's good. I'm glad somebody is, because I just cry silently into my pillow. No. But Mark, why don't you, for some people at Riverside might know who you are, some might not. So why don't you just tell us a bit about yourself, just to kick us off?
Yes, certainly. So my name's Mark Greenwood. I am 50 years old.
No.
I know. Thanks for your support on that, Steve. Really appreciate it. I'm originally from Bradford in the north of England, married to Emma, and I've got 2 daughters. Favourite food is curry. Favourite shoes are brogues.
To be fair, I do know your favourite shoes are brogues because you always wear them. And for anyone watching, I actually, whenever I see a brogue, I tend to send Mark a sneaky little picture of one.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate it.
But I think that's what real friendship is. It's sending pictures of brogues. You know, that's what friendship is.
100%. 100%.
People at Riverside have shown me how much they care about me this week. So I talked about how much I love pictures of cats, and already it's only been 3 days, and I've had loads of pictures of cats suddenly sent to me. It's such a joy. So Mark's also the national evangelist for Elim, so which means he worked for the Reach Department. Mark, why don't you tell us a bit about what is the Reach Department? What do you do?
Yeah, so basically the Reach Department is Elim's church planting and evangelism department. So the whole point is that we don't just do it, but we resource other people to do it as well. So we do a lot of equipping, but obviously we'll be out preaching the gospel and helping churches to plant churches as well. So yeah, it's very hands-on, very practical.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I thought it stood for something like, resourcing, evangelism, and church planting. But when I said this to Gary, that's what reach meant. He went, "No, it doesn't. You're overthinking it."
See, that was your chance to go, well, it does now.
Yeah, exactly. I've kept on calling it that.
And do you enjoy the Reach Department? What's your joys about working for the Reach Department?
I do love it, actually. And it was a massive transition because, I mean, Steve, you've known me a while. I was independent as an evangelist in terms of I had my own trust. And all of a sudden I'm moving from working for my own trust, almost like being self-employed, to kind of working for this large animal. So it was a bit of a change, really. But I love it. And I love community. I love that I'm on board with a big team, and I get on really well with Gary, my colleague. I have to say that in case he sees this. So yeah, no, I do love it. And I tell you what's really nice. It's nice to feel that what you're doing is a significant part of a denomination's evangelism. So that feels really strategic and exciting. So yeah, I love it, mate. Thank you.
I love your heart for wanting to equip people for evangelism. And I know you spent a lot of time driving around the country, equipping people where they were and resourcing churches. But then lockdown happened. So what does that mean for you now? Is it a case of, well, that's it, no one gets equipped anymore, we just forget reaching people? What does that mean for what you've been doing?
Well, once I stopped crying in the corner of my study, because as you know, I'm probably one of the most, I call myself an extreme extrovert. So, but yeah, well, in actual fact, it's taken on a whole different shape because you're not stood in front of people delivering stuff, but you are stood in front of a camera. So we've still been producing stuff. So for example, I've redone the boot camp, which many of the people at Riverside will know. We had a very good attendance. I've redone that into 4 half-hour sessions. So it's still available. We're still equipping. We've produced a lot of talks. I've done stuff on how to effectively preach thematically, bearing in mind more people aren't Christians coming to our church services. So there's all that sort of stuff, but an interesting little change, or little kind of, it's not little actually, is this year it was all about taking Elim's national evangelism vision, NEV as we affectionately call it, taking it around the country, really sharing it. So we got into kind of sort of second, third week of March, and all of a sudden that's curtailed. So we've taken all that online. Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. Now we're saying, actually, we're not just taking the vision and how we share it online, we're actually taking the ethos of it online, because our national evangelism vision is no longer just about bricks and mortar. It's how we do all that stuff online. So it's now both. So it's been really exciting, actually, really exciting.
I think one of the things that's really I've just felt really struck by over the last couple of months is, I think when the lockdown first happened and pandemic first happened, a lot of us were just waiting to go back to normal. So we almost went into a holding pattern, and we're now nearly 4 months into this. You know, it's not going anywhere. So either we still sit on our hands and actively don't invest in mission and reaching people for God, or we just go, do you know what? Okay, we can't do it like we did, but there's lots we can do.
Absolutely, 100%. Steve, if I might just give a little plug, I'm actually writing something. Are you ready for this?
I am.
It's free. I'm writing something that's free. You'll have 20 of them, won't you?
I can't have 100 of them, mate.
So you'll know, many of the people at the church will know, I wrote a book called Big Yes, Little Yes, Healthy Maybe, a New Framework for Evangelism.
Brilliant.
And thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
It's $9.99, isn't it? It's $9.99?
Yeah.
Amazon?
$9.99. Amazon, yeah. Or off the website, which www.revmarkgreenwood.com. Also available on Kindle. Now, I'm writing, again, as you know, because I've chatted to you about this, I'm going to be writing small group notes so we can study the book in small groups. And I started that, but I put a pause just for about a month, 6 weeks or so, because I really felt I needed to write what I am calling the 11th chapter of Big Yes, Little Yes, Healthy Maybe. If I was writing that book now, 14 months after it's been published, I would have a chapter on Big Yes, Little Yes, Healthy Maybe and the online space.
Brilliant.
So I need to reprint the book, but rather than putting that chapter in, because loads of people have already bought the book, so I felt a bit mean. So I'm basically writing that 11th chapter. The book's going to be called Big Yes, Little Yes, Healthy Maybe online.
Brilliant.
And it's one chapter, but that chapter is going to be called Chapter 11. And basically what we're doing is we're looking at all the research, loads of testimony, stories, and some thoughts, some principles in what, we know it's a bit unknown, but I think we can have more than an educated guess as to what it might look like going forward. So I've sought to pull that out. Mate, I'm really excited about it. I've got a friend of mine, a guy called Phil Cook, who's a Hollywood producer and one of the most sought after speakers, produced some of the most influential media and programming in the world. He's done the forward for it.
Yes.
So I'm really super excited about it. I'm not far off completion. I'm just waiting for one or two bits, and then it'll be proofread. It'll go to the designer. I'm hoping that within the month it'll be readily available.
Mate,
and that will help people.
That is so exciting and that's the thing, because I mean, we're in a teaching series at the moment at Riverside called What Can I Do? Because there is stuff we can do, but
absolutely,
we need to get our heads around it, and we need to be resourced. So that's going to be really key. And Riversiders, we are going to be investing in that for you. So please look out for it. Okay.
No, brilliant. That's brilliant. Superb.
We need it.
We do.
I think that's really exciting. I mean, one of the things that struck me is I almost felt God say, do you want to do something or do you want to do nothing? Because that's where we are right now. You can either do nothing and wait this out, or let's do something and give it a go. And I don't like Zoom. This is I'd much rather be sat in your house having a cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
But if it's doing it this way or not doing the mission at all, I'll take this way.
100%. Yeah, no, you're dead right, mate. And a lot of the principles are the same. Like, one of the things I've been saying to churches is don't send a link, build one. So it's like, it's not about, we've got this service, let's send a link to all our friends who aren't Christian. Yeah, do that. But actually, even though we might have to do it online, although we can meet people now a little bit more, obviously, but let's put some effort into building those links.
Yeah.
And let's really grab that moment, because what we have got is a little bit more time to be able to spend some time building quality links. So so don't just send a link, build one. I think that's really important.
And it's so key. I mean, one of the things that I've been trying to think about just with people at Riverside is, don't just tell people to watch our service online, but now you can invite another household into yours.
Yeah,
so
good.
Actually, you could invite somebody into
Yeah,
your house to engage
absolutely.
in that, whatever online content is together, and talk about it with a cup of coffee, either during or after it, without the worry of it infecting other people. But it builds a link.
Yeah,
It's much
absolutely.
more than watch this.
No, definitely. The more we can journey with people and do things with people, it's always going to be there. And you can still stay in your pajamas. Just have a pajama party and get them to bring theirs.
Awesome. I mean, people at Riverside know how much I love my pajamas. I actually did our Christmas Day service in my pajamas.
Yay!
I was pleased. I'm not sure Liz was, or the people that came to Christmas Day, but anyway.
But hey-ho.
What are you going to do? But obviously, so evangelism and the reach department's a big part of your life, but we're coming in a week's time. It's going to be Elim Festival. Elim Family Festival, to give it its full name.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's gone through a few iterations, the name has. Mark, why don't you tell us a bit about what Elim Family Festival is all about?
Yeah, so first of all, it's not a festival just for families. The family is more a description of the community. So you don't have to be in a family to come. You can. In fact, I was just interviewing somebody in the past few weeks, and they said one of the things that they in fact, it's going to be on one of the things that we produce. One of the things that these people said is they just love the community.
Yeah.
And they struck relationships with people the first time they came, and they're still really good friends with them.
Yeah.
So the family is more about, it's almost like the vision for the festival, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would really encourage people to come along. And it's great because, you can come along to Elim Family Festival online and just get a little taste. And mate, I have to say, we've done a great program, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we can be proud of it.
There's a lot of fun in that program. There is a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So it's brilliant. So I just encourage people to come along. And again, it's another way that you could invite your friends along to come and see some of the stuff that we do. We've got some not just great speakers lined up, but we've got great program variety. I think we've really tried to, and I think we've done well to capture something of the key elements of Elim Family Festival. So I think it's come next year, come to the full thing.
Yeah,
amazing.
And that it is an incredible thing. I mean, I want to echo the whole family thing. Liz and I, we got involved in it when we were up in Nottingham in Yorkshire. We didn't really know anyone up there, and actually it was the Elim Family Festival that cemented some relationships for us in Yorkshire.
No, definitely.
And that's why we're still part of the festival now. But one thing I love about it, personally, it's not only great quality teaching, because it is, but it's a great way for people that are exploring faith and find out to know Jesus as well. It's not just a feed me Christian festival. It's actually...
No, definitely.
It doesn't matter where you are on your journey. If you're pre-Christ, you've just met him, or you've been journeying with him for 20 years. There's something for you in that, and I love that about it.
100%. I mean, we got loads of people who aren't Christians coming along to the festival, and some of them might come into one or two of the meetings, some of them might not, but we know those people are blown away by the community. I mean, we've got people that came one year from one church who very new to like church, and they came along and they loved it so much they wanted to come back. Well, in fact, they got involved in serving and working in the festival. And this is not just young people, this is older people as well, So I think you're right, Steve. I think wherever people are in their faith, however old they are, I think they can come along and feel a part of Elim Family Festival, definitely 100%.
I mean, I'm really excited we get to go online because and people from Riverside hear me. I want you to experience this. It is a festival unlike any other I've experienced before. We might not have every laser beam show in the world, but the movement of God that happens between his people and through his people at that place is phenomenal.
100%. 100%.
So when are we going online? It's next weekend, isn't it, Mark? It's Friday the 24th of July.
Don't say it
Sunday
like
the
that.
26th of July.
Don't say it like that. Oh my goodness me! Is that what it is?
It is. It is.
I've had my head down, just getting everything ready for loads of different. I'm looking at my diary just to try and prove you wrong. What?
It's right around the corner, but we are so ready for it. Even though we talk about panic, we are, and it's going to be a great one. It's going to be live on the Elim Family Festival YouTube channel, Facebook page, and it's even going out on the Elim Pentecostal Church's YouTube channel as well. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely, superb.
So I'd love it, Mark, if you could just really speak into a bit for us, because we know how you partner with us now. You partner with us through Reach, you've done the boot camp, you've done Reason to Believe. We're linked strongly through Elim Family Festival, but sharing your faith is such a big thing, you know, that God's called you to and to equip people. Why should people, especially today in coronavirus times, be sharing their faith with other people?
Yeah, I think whenever I'm asked this question, I think I always respond with the same two sort of parts, really. And first of all, it's good to share your faith because it's good for those that don't know Jesus. Okay. And secondly, it's actually really good for those that do know Jesus.
Yeah.
So let me pick up on those. I've increasingly tried to live by a motto that came from something that I felt God really speak to me about. And the first thing is that I want to do stuff because I get to, not because I've got to. Yeah. So I don't think God really needs me. And in fact, if anybody's not sure of that, probably God's greatest creation was creation. And we weren't there. Yeah. He didn't run it past me. He didn't say, what do you think? And for the vast majority of it, I didn't even give him a hand. And then when he made us,
yeah.
So when we did get involved, we made a right pig's ear of things, as my mother would say. Do you know what I mean?
It's true.
Which is always the problem, isn't it? That's why sometimes people like us in leadership, I'll just do it myself. I'll just do it myself. Because the minute we let them get involved. So, but here's the beautiful thing. God doesn't really need us, and yet he has chosen in his infinite wisdom to reduce most of his activity on planet Earth through human beings. And I've kind of begun to get more and more of a grasp of that. So I'm like going, oh my gosh, I get to, not I've got to. Yeah. So I'm not going to you've got to share your faith, you've got to share your faith. Perspiration. Yeah. I do it because of inspiration. So that's my motto, inspiration, not perspiration.
I like it.
And we've managed to take Philippians, that verse that says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We normally only quote that when we're feeling impossibilities. Yeah. But the truth is, the more accurate translation is, I can do all the things that Christ gives me the strength to do. Yeah. It's not about him giving you the strength to do all things, because he's not called you to do all things. No. He has called you to do certain things, and he'll give you the strength to do those. And one of the things he's called us all to do is to share our faith. He'll give us the strength to do it. And I go, well, just pause. I get to be involved in some part of seeing a person go from life without God to life with God, and not putting too fine a point on it, to help them not to go to hell and to help them to go to heaven. Wow, what an inspiration. So it's good for them, because the sheer beauty of what we get to see happen is incredible. But then the other thing about it's good for us, and I'll be very quick on this. You know, when Jesus appeared in the Great Commission, yeah, and said, go into all the world and make disciples. So that really impacted me once, because just before it says, Jesus stood amongst them. They bowed down in worship, though some doubted. And those little three words I hadn't really noticed. I'd got so preoccupied by the go, yeah, which actually a more accurate translation is so wherever you go, not go. It's like just in amongst everything that you do, make disciples.
Right.
But here's the thing. Jesus stood amongst them. They were all worshipping. They bowed down, all of them, but some doubted. And I know it's possible to be caught up in the heights of worshipping Jesus and loving Jesus and still have doubts. What did Jesus do? He didn't stick them on Alpha, as brilliant as that is. He didn't stick them on freedom in Christ. He said you should have dealt with this weeks ago, months ago. He didn't tap his foot and wag their finger at them and said, have you not learned anything yet? What he said to them is, look, just go into all the world and make disciples. And he said, all authority in heaven and earth has been given to me. So wherever you go. So what he sought to do is not say, you've got all the authority that you need, because they didn't feel it. First of all, he reminded them of where the authority is. But here's a sneaky little thing, mate. Have you ever been in a situation where you know, like, you're going to do some street outreach or whatever, and you know you're going to have to talk to people or do some door-to-door work? And have you ever, like, you know, prayed that they're not in? Have you ever done that?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I'm going out, but please don't let anyone have eye contact with me.
Yeah.
I'll stand out there and I'll look like I'm ready to go, but don't stop.
I'm going to do door-to-door work. I'm praying that they're not in as a statement of faith that God's going to answer that prayer. I'm not even going to knock the door.
Yeah.
That's the rationale. Because it's like, you go, oh my gosh, I really don't want to, I have all these doubts about me, about anything. And then you have like one really good conversation with somebody and you want to take on the world, don't you? Yeah. And I've got this sneaky feeling that part of what Jesus was saying was, yeah, you might be worshipping, you might have loads of doubts, but you know what? Just go out and tell people about me, because that'll sort your doubts. And I think the best way to deal with our doubts, to grow in our faith, is to go out and serve Jesus in sharing the gospel with people and making a difference in our communities. So I think, why should we do evangelism? It's good for those that don't know Jesus, and it's good for those that do.
Yeah. What's really scary is the timing of this is, I've just said our teaching series is What Can I Do? It's all about the Great Commission, and we're spending 4 weeks, and we spent last Sunday was worshipping Jesus in the doubt, and this week was in our doubt, go and make disciples.
Love it. Love it. And then there's almost like, I love this bit, this like little casual phrase at the end of the Great Commission, where it's like God saying, oh, surely I'll be with you always to the very end of the age. It's just like this like, it's almost like this massive phrase that he's just throwing as this kind of incidental, like, and whenever I read that, I get like, Jesus is saying, look, it's a given, but I'm just going to say it anyway.
Yeah.
And surely.
Yeah. Surely, come on, don't forget, I'm here.
Exactly, I'm here, like always. And yet to the very end of the age. It's brilliant.
I love it. Thank you. That honestly, that fits so much with where we are.
That's really encouraging.
And really, just as we sign off, really, the church, we can be praying for so much. We're praying for healing for our nation. We're praying for reconciliation across our world. We're praying for people to be coming together in unity. We're praying against racial injustice. We're praying wisdom for our leaders. There's so much we could be praying for, and we are praying for as a church. What if you could ask the church to be praying for anything right now, Mark?
Yeah.
What do you want the church to be praying for?
I think that's a really good question. You know, Steve, you know me well. Most of my life is built on phrases and quick sort of phrases. I seem to get life mottos. My brain's just wired that way. And so I've become aware, and here's your next little tweetable moment, that the seed of the gospel has been sown in the soil of suffering. Mm. So the seed of the gospel has been sown in the soil of suffering. And that's why I think, there's opportunity, but let's not be opportunistic. But let's not negate that it's been sown in the soil of suffering. So I guess my prayer would be, Lord Jesus, help us to go out with the heart of a pastor as well as the heart of an evangelist. Right. So we want to fuse those two things together, that we go out. I love what Gav Calver from the EA says. It sums it up. He goes, we want to be kinder and braver. Yeah. So Lord, help us to be incredibly kind, not be opportunistic, be genuinely caring, and be aware that whatever shoots of life are coming out, spiritual life, and we're seeing people come to Christ online, whatever's happening, let's be aware that it is sown in the seed, the soil of suffering. And so we just need to be a little bit more sensitive. I'm just going to stop this ringing because I want to finish my phrase. I've started, so I'll finish. So just to regather the poignant moment, let's just be, Lord, help us to be really sensitive, really wise, really caring, but also to see the opportunity. and leaders. And what's the difference? Help us to be genuinely led by your Spirit, Lord. And I think if we do that, we'll get it right.
Wow. I mean, I think that's such a powerful blend of spiritual and practical advice there.
Yeah.
And you're right, Gav Cowell does put it great at being braver and bold and kinder. I think
Yeah.
as Christians, we're really good at being super kind.
Yeah.
Sometimes so much we're no longer brave with the gospel
Very good.
and the truth. But some of us are so brave with the truth, we've
Yeah.
become too bold and we've
Yes.
stopped being compassionate and kind.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah,
We have to
100%.
do both.
We do.
Wow. Well, I've loved this. Thank you so much, Mark, for giving
My
up
pleasure.
like half an hour every time for the Saturday Partnership podcast. I hope that the rest of your week is filled with joy, fun, laughter, and pajamas.
Yay! Definitely pajamas.
Maybe with an odd packet of crisps snuck in there as well.
You know my weakness.
And I can't wait to see you at Elim Festival.
Yeah, me too, mate. It's been lovely to be with you, mate. Bless you.
And you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you later, Mark.